Hey everyone, Mr. K here. Finally back to doing GameMaker videos. I know it's been a long time. This time we're doing power-ups. So, what I got here, and I got the game set to run automatically, so I'll have to run it again just in case you didn't see it. We were doing power-ups. So, what happens here, we have just a simple thing. Power-up comes in from the side. As soon as we collide, we switch over to a spray shot instead of a single shot, and then after about 3 seconds, we go back to normal. So, the idea behind this video is to cover power-ups. There's a lot you can do with power-ups. I'm only showing you one example, the spray shot. If you want to do something else, it's the basic same idea. It's just what happens after you collide with the power-up that's the issue. Anyway, I'll show you the boring stuff first, which is the power-up itself, which doesn't really do anything. The only thing I have here is for it to move over 2 pixels every step. That's the moving across the screen that you saw. The shot also doesn't do anything at all. Just when it's outside the room, it destroys itself. Everything happens right with the player itself. So, I'm going to show you the firing code first because that's the bulk of what's going on here. The firing code it's not the most graceful thing in the world because it only works if you're shooting straight up. If you're shooting in any other direction, this all has to be cleaned up. But the gist here is that whenever you hit the space bar, it checks to see if checks for a variable called spray. If spray is equal to 1, what it will do is fire off 3 different shots, each in different directions. So one goes straight up, one goes slightly to the left, one goes slightly to the right. I highlighted the wrong ones. This one's slightly to the right, this one's slightly to the left. Gives them their speed, and I changed the image angle as well, so it looks like they're actually going in that direction, or else they all look like they're going straight up. If spray isn't equal to 1, then we just all else just fire off 1 shot straight up. So when the game starts, spray is set to 0. So that means none of this actually happens when you hit the space bar, just the 1 shot. But what happens is when you run into the power-up, spray is set to 1. And on top of that, the instance of the power-up is destroyed, and there's an alarm that's being set. We'll get the alarm in a second, but let's just go back. So spray is now equal to 1. Press the space bar. So now spray is 1. All of this happens, but not this. Okay? As for that little alarm there, alarm 0 equals 3 times room speed. Remember, if you do this, that basically runs out to be 3 seconds, no matter what your room speed is. Not basically, yeah, exactly 3 seconds. That's over here. What that does is when the alarm goes off, it resets the spray back to 0. So you have basically a temporary power-up. Now, if you wanted to make it a permanent power-up, well, that's easy. Just take out all the alarm stuff, and it's going to be permanent that you now shoot with a spray. So depending on the game you're making, maybe you want it to have a permanent power-up until, I don't know, maybe you die and you respawn with all your power-ups gone. Kind of like those bullet hell games. At least some bullet hell games. I don't know. I don't play a lot of them. It's basically it. This is going to be mostly what you're going to be working on because depending on what power-up you make, it could be a spray shot, it could be just a health increase, it could be extra lives, you move faster, temporary invincibility, who knows. But depending on what you're doing with your power-up, that's where you're going to get creative. The power-up itself, in essence, is just turning on a variable and then turning it back off if needed be. That's all there is to it. So that's it for power-ups. Bye.